What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Twisted Life of TV. I am Poetry. You are here for another recap and review of The Testaments. This is Season 1, Episode 5. Episode's titled The Ball, or as I would like to call it, the missing episode from Bridgerton. Look, the subject matter that these girls are presenting to us on this particular episode, lust mainly, jealousy. It's almost like they're going through the seven sins. I didn't see gluttony really. There was a bit of gluttony, but not necessarily with food. Greed. Is greed a seven sin? I don't know all the seven sins. Anyway, child. But it seems like that's what they were touching on this particular episode. But the lust is like in the forefront. And I feel like these are things that these children would not have been exposed to. They would not have an understanding other than it's a sin. And they are like clearly lusting after these grown ass men in this particular episode. At the end, we saw that Agnes or Hannah, I think Agnes this particular episode, she has this desire to be touched. She has an understanding of heat radiating from a man's body. And I'm like, where would you get this information from? You were taken at the age of 4 and indoctrinated into this society. Those type of things would have been secluded from you. Even though you were a commander's daughter, you still wouldn't be privy to that information. So y'all already know how I'm feeling about this doggone episode. I don't have a voice. I thought I had a voice after the concert was over, but my voice has been leaving me since then. So hopefully my mic is close enough to pick up, but not in my way where I will be hitting it. Welcome back to the channel if you've never been here before. Welcome for the first time. This is an interactive channel. I love having conversations with you down in the comment section. There are a lot of comments that I did not get to last episode because y'all were still dropping those mugs this morning. I will get to those comments. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Turn on your notifications so that way you can get notifications when these videos drop in. Like the channel. Hype up the channel. There's a little hype button that you can hype me up if you haven't hyped up 3 people all in 1 week. There's a thanks button if you want to donate to the channel. Show me some love. It has a little dollar sign in the middle of a heart. That's a thanks button. You can hit that as well. Also, what else I was going to say about the housekeeping? Please do not put in spoilers from future episodes. It's okay if you drop in conversations about the book from the episodes that we have watched, but please do not spoil what's supposed to happen in future episodes based off of your knowledge of the book. Please don't do that. So again, anything that has happened between now and episode 5, we can go ahead and roll that out. A lot of things that I talk about in the book already happened. They just didn't show it on this show. So that's why those spoilers I'm allowing myself to do. And I will discuss those with you. There has been a couple people who have deleted your comments. If you have been waiting for me to respond, I haven't because you gave too much information, child. Too much. Okay, shoot. We don't want that in the comment section. So, but I thank y'all for participating as much as y'all have been. All my old heads, y'all coming back. I appreciate y'all. I miss it. Seeing some my old familiar faces in the comment section. And I'm seeing a lot of new ones, and I love y'all for being here. We start this episode off with Agnes looking upon herself, questioning what actually happened to her last week. When she was in Dr. Grove's office, she's not sure. She's not exactly sure, but she knows it's something that she needs to be ashamed of. She tries to push it down because like here in Gilead, they have to push down so much emotion, so much feeling. They got to suppress that stuff. That's what Gilead teaches them. And I'm thinking, what have you been taught that you need to push down? What do you remember from when you was 4 years and younger that you have to push down? You have no access to anything. They have secluded you. This is all you know. What exactly are you pushing down? Like I said, you enter this world as a 4-year-old child. What are you being faced with from that past, from before, that you have to hide yourself from now? What could you have been indoctrinated with that you could possibly know that isn't how this life is supposed to be about? Some of the commentary that Agnes Hannah makes doesn't make sense because she wouldn't have been exposed to any of that information. And she didn't live a life long enough to have encountered any of that situation. So what exactly are you suppressing? Your Barney Downs, your Barbies, your Brats? What are you suppressing? I don't get it. Anywho, it's obvious that Paula is holding on to yesteryear. She's suppressing because she randomly brings up things that she used to do, like going to the prom. Why is this word prom even in Agnes's vocabulary? They weren't allowed to read. They weren't allowed to pick it up from TV because they weren't allowed to watch TV. They're not allowed to watch movies. Why would you even know the word prom? You don't even like Paula enough to even ask a mother what a prom is. What are you talking about? What's a prom? She explained to you about the dress and what it means to be strapless, but she didn't explain to you what the fuck a prom is. You would think that the mention of a prom and it being something that Agnes has never heard of before, that would have sparked some curiousness in her. Something that would have put her on the path to start questioning everything that's going on around her. But she didn't. She wasn't a kid. She's a kidnapped child. Let's not forget that. I've talked about that in the comment section in the last video. They have removed the fact that these girls are kidnapped. People who are coming in who didn't watch The Handmaid's Tale, who haven't read the book, who just completely green to this whole series. These girls are kidnapped. They're not adopted, which is the term they keep using. They keep throwing it out. They are kidnapped. Okay? But she's not a kidnapped child that was tortured. She's not a kidnapped child that had been raped like we hear so many other kidnapped victims being done. You know, but I honestly think that she still should be having PTSD though. I honestly think that she should be having nightmares of men in black with guns chasing her and her mother through a wood. And she's screaming at the top of her lungs. And her mama's screaming and yelling as well. I think she should still be having nightmares about that. I think some PTSD moments should come in about that. And that's why, that could be a reason why she starts to question, what the hell am I doing here? Because we know that when The Handmaid's Tale ended, she wrote her name down as Hannah. So she had some kind of recollection of who she used to be, at least on that end. But all of a sudden, it's like it's gone. That doesn't make sense to me. So anyway, Paula has supposed to have been very rigorous in her instruction with Agnes on how to be a wife. So Agnes should not be as clueless as she is. She Agnes this episode, child. She actually acting like Agnes. Okay, so anyway, we started the season, episode 1, saying that this was 4 years after Boston. A time in which Agnes had already started wife school. That's what she went to Colorado for. And then they was going to attack the plan on the school. That was foiled. And that's how she ended up back in D.C. Okay, but it's 4 years now, 4 years later from the time she started wife school, and she still don't know the fucking ropes yet. She's still like, what? How do you know this? Why don't you know this, Agnes? She's still green as the day is old. But Shoo know all the doggone rules. Shoo got to keep schooling everybody on everything, okay? She knows what they did last summer. She knows for who the bells hold. But Agnes, for some reason, does not know how the ball works at all. They do this every year. Shoo mentioned it 11,000 times. They have this ball every year. And according to this episode, as we get deeper into it, all the girls attend the ball, which means Agnes has been to the ball for the last 4 years. Why you don't know what's going to happen? Why you don't understand what's going on? You're supposed to be groomed to be a wife. This should already be in your mental repertoire, that you know what's about to happen at this doggone ball. I still don't know what the Pearl Girls were there for. They was just holding up the walls, being wallflowers, except for Daisy. She was all in the hallway by herself, man, in the men's bathroom, handing out towels. So the girls, they over at the venue. They being prepped for the prom, child. And there's absolutely nothing uniform about their dresses. Even the color palette of the greens varied slightly. Some of them had a little paler green, some had more emerald, some of them had more jade. You know, they was also beating their faces, child. Beating their faces with makeup. Makeup is forbidden in Gilead. That would have got them beat up instead of them beating their faces, okay? Aunt Lydia, no, not Aunt Lydia, Aunt Estes, she running around with a camcorder. I know a lot of y'all youngins don't know what that is, you know, because times have changed. But that is, you record just like in your phone, how you got a camera in your phone and you push record, record stuff. We had a device called a camcorder back in the day that you could walk around and record your own movies and stuff on, and it'd be on tape though. It would just be in the cloud. Okay, recording and documenting is forbidden in Gilead. I know a lot of us in the comment sections are trying to explain away why things are different here. But again, in episode 1 of this show, not in my mind, in episode 1 of this show, they said nothing in Gilead had changed. The Boston Revolution happened, but it only affected Boston, which means nowhere else in fucking Gilead should be this Disneyland. Nowhere else. We got 5 more episodes to go, child. 5 more. Ho Sheba. And yes, I know her name is Sheba. I call her Ho Sheba because it just rolls easily off the tongue. Okay. She's leading the girls in prayer. I hate they picked the darkest black girl of the cast and made her the bitch. Made her the jealous bitch. Okay. She's the one who's fully indoctrinated. And it's such a quick turn in the personality that she presented in the very first episode. She was all teeth and smiles in that first episode with the other girls. Now, every episode since then, they spend time talking behind her back about how much of a jealous bitch she is. Becka said she didn't want to hear another doggone prayer from Ho Sheba. If she did, she was going to scream. Okay. Agnes didn't even crack a smile to her best friend. She held a lot of resentment for what Becca's father had did to her. And you could see it in her frame. She kind of like towered over Becca in this moment. And that didn't go unnoticed by Becca, because Becca's like, what the hell is up with her? Even Hulda and Shushu was talking about it later on in the episode. But right now, they are brimming with excitement. They got the new commanders coming over. And I could understand their excitement for getting married, because this is what they have been forced to learn and to understand in their brains. But why are these girls so fascinated with how these commanders look? Why are these girls so fascinated with their sexual prowess? The wives don't even have sex for pleasure. The only person that's supposed to have sex for pleasure was the fucking Jezebels. Having a loving relationship wasn't part of the plan either. But they are really focused on being loved and touched and caressed by a commander. Hopefully a nice one. These grown-ass men. Y'all forget y'all 16, 15, 17 years old and younger. These girls have been taught, from what we can see in this particular episode, in the prior episodes too, they are being taught to be desirable, which goes against all of Gilead's doctrine. Not standing out or drawing attention to yourself is not something that they're supposed to do. The entire purpose of everybody dressing alike, from the handmaids to the wives, and all of the order of the women in between, the entire purpose is for them to be uniform. They show different levels of ranks in the women by the way that they dress, but they are supposed to be uniform in the way that they move in the eyes of the gods in Gilead. The Jezebels are the only women who art thou loosed. The only ones. Okay. Next we off. We really finna tap into the missing episode of Bridgerton right here. And let me state for the record, I am not a fan of that show. I tried, y'all. I really did. I tried to even get into Queen Charlotte. And the remainder of this episode is Bridgerton through and through. It displays every reason why I dislike the Bridgerton show. I had to start trekking through the credits to make sure that Shonda Rhimes was not a consultant on this episode. The girls line up to prance around in front of the commanders, displaying all their skill, all their grace, their poise, their perfection. Even perfection, okay. The littles, they're in pink. And they actually wasn't littles at all. Those were some grown-ass teenage kids. Okay, 40 grown teenagers who looked older than Agnes was dressed in pink. And then we got our pre-periods in the plum, okay? And then we got the great value wives dressed in the green. They all form a ring of circles around each other. And they dance the ring around the posy. They look like syncopated swimmers out of the water. You know what I'm saying? The color scheme was very pretty. It was very pretty. But my right eye, the muscle in my right eye was twitching. I was annoyed as hell. Annoyed as hell. Because they trying to make this seem so fucking fairy tale and lovable. It's almost if they trying to, somebody said they trying to make us, damn, I wish I remember who said this, y'all. I apologize. It's in the comment section of the second video. Said that they are trying to make us, or trying to push the narrative of being happy to be a trad wife. They're trying to, I always feel like this show is trying to manipulate us subconsciously into thinking, feeling, or acting a certain way. And I feel it with this particular episode. Specifically, I feel it, okay? Anyway, Lydia, she's seated at the front of the room with Commander Judd. She should be so proud, okay? Because this dance, along with the tea from last week, this dance proves how well trained these girls are to be wives. She's sitting up there with Commander Judd, and he says something to her to thank her and compliment her on her work. This dance exemplifies everything that it means to be a wife. How, Sway? How? The wives are not servants. That's what the Marthas are. The wives are not servants. Why are they trying to make the wives servants? And they got Marthas. Why the fuck they even got more? Why Agnes got 3 Marthas? We only see Rosa. Why she got 3 Marthas? And then Marthas ain't never there doing the stuff that they supposed to be doing with her. She always in there doing it by herself. They was only there that first damn day, changing her sheets. Okay. You know who wasn't there? The actual wives. They weren't present. They weren't invited. Because women have their place in Gilead. And this ain't it. So, after the fathers of the daughters, they were present, okay? They were all present for a daddy-daughter dance. Ooh, my head itch. They was all present for a daddy-daughter dance. How beautiful. How beautiful. And Commander Mackenzie, he couldn't be more proud of his Agnes. Where's their son? Where is their son? I'm finna go to the book right now. And again, I'm going to the book because this is about some stuff that should have already happened by the time we got to this point. Commander Mackenzie and Tabitha had a handmaid. And that handmaid got pregnant and they had a son. The handmaid died from childbirth, but they had a son. Where is he? This is episode 5. We ain't heard ne'er mention of this son. Now, once he married Tabitha, Tabitha adopted the son as her own. But where is this son? And oh, speaking of the handmaid, y'all remember the florist, flower girl? The one who wanted Garth to get her out of there? And at the end, it was like, her name was Candace. I don't know why it didn't register in my brain right then at that moment when they said that. But I had to, since I've been talking about the book, I was hosting a live yesterday so we could discuss everything about the show, but I had technical difficulties in the beginning. And then when I did get the live working, people didn't come, so I canceled it, right? So in it, I was going to bring up the fact that Candace, the name that they mentioned for the flower girl, that was the name of the handmaid that was living with Agnes. She's the one who is the mother of the child that Mackenzie and them don't have right now on the show for some doggone reason. The son. Her name was Candace. So I guess by killing off the flower girl and naming her Candace, that was their way of saying to us as the viewers, you ain't gonna see Candace pop up in here. No god doggone word. We done killed her off in name. So I hate that they are trying to make Mackenzie seem to be this gentle, kind, caring soul. This man is the head of Gilead. The head of Gilead that we know, okay? His prior story, he was cheating with Tabitha, on Tabitha, with Paula. Paula was married to Commander Sanders. And they were cheating, which is something that's forbidden in Gilead. But anyway, Tabitha died. And as I stated, he had impregnated Candace, the one of their little sessions. And now, periodically during the dance, Agnes would appear over at Becka and Dr. Grove. Now remember, Dr. Grove is a dentist. He has the same, he's almost considered to be ranked as a commander, but he's not a leader. He would not be here with his daughter. His daughter wouldn't even be amongst these people. But okay, I digress. Because they made her Becca part of the story in the Testament book. So we're going to go and give the doctor a chance. Anyway, Agnes would look over at her and she would have a mini panic moment, right? Becca, she plastering a smile on for the moment while she danced around with her daddy, just gracefully gliding across the floor with the daughter that he abused. Remember I asked that question? I was like, I wonder if he's abusing Becca. Well, if you read the book, you know that he was. And that's told in the first parts. So you would already know this information by the time we get to this point in the story. Anywho, after the daddy-daughter dance, the eligible bachelors come in. Agnes says something along the lines, I got to dance with a boy. That's what she considered the original commanders who came in. The boys who became the men who would protect us. We watched them grow up. No, you didn't. Again, they are softening the blow of what Gilead is supposed to be about. The commanders, no matter if they have the yellow stripes on or not, the commanders are men of influence. It was not an open call for anybody to just become a commander just because they grew up in Gilead. That's not how it worked. The men, again, were influential in this society, either or before Gilead came to existence. They were influential people, men connected to politics, wealthy businessmen or the business elite. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who served early on in the days of Gilead, which is why Nick got his spot. And then, or military leaders, somebody who's been in charge. These are the people who become commanders. They mentioned later on in the episode, Garth is getting a promotion, and which means he should have been with Gilead from the beginning. He couldn't have been no newbie coming in and taking on the position of a commander. Once again, this role of Garth is really bugging me too. Because Garth is the one who trained Daisy in Toronto, as it was written. And why did they change that? Well, no, I understand why they changed it. Because they changed Agnes's whole story. They changed Daisy's whole story. And they had to fit Garth in there some kind of way because they want to make this like a fucking Romeo and Juliet type of situation. Anyway, we going back to last week where the girls are speaking of the commanders in the colonies. And they said that they were known abusers and known rapists. Another thing, the commanders weren't above the law. Look, if they broke rules in Gilead, breaking rules was like buying stuff on the black market. You know, the stuff that Nick was like smuggling through. If they were having illicit affairs outside of Jezebel's was allowed. If they were having affairs with other commander wives like Mackenzie was doing, they could be stripped of their rank, they could be in prison, or they could be executed. They was not to be rewarded with a wife and just gave the assignment of being over the colonies. That's not how that fucking worked. Anyway, Agnes, she learned the word optimism from a psychiatrist. I'm still saying don't piss me off. Because no ma'am, there was no shrinks allowed in Gilead. They hung head doctors on the fucking wall. Psychiatry went against all their religious beliefs. They would not have a psychiatrist for Agnes to be going to. The commanders told you what you think and feel. Now, Shunammite, which I can't believe that once I learned how to say this girl's damn name, they started calling her Shu on the doggone show. Anyway, Shunammite somehow snuck in a mason jar full of mushroom tea, from which she got the recipe from her cousin. Where the fuck they do that at? How on earth would a cousin be there passing along recipes? Her and Hulda, they out here sitting in the corner sipping on it, right? Shu in great quantity because she is told that this mushroom tea will help her start her cycle. And baby, she want to have triplets. What you know about triplets? Again, this is something that you would not have been privy to. You're living in a time and era where birth rates were low, where infertility rates were low. Although they have improved, they are still low. So having triplets is not something that is common or something that you should even know about. But she says she want to have triplets, baby. Whoever Helen is, Helen had twins. Helen would be a martyr in this society. Not only is she having one baby, she pumping out two. When everybody else is struggling, Helen would have been a martyr. But when Helen had the twins, what did she end up getting? She got a Mercedes and diamond earrings, child. And Shushu wants some of that. They trying to make us believe that Shushu understands the concept of material things such as those when they were not privy to any of that. Why would Helen be given a car when women can't even fucking drive? What the fuck are we talking about here? Oh, I'm so glad y'all know me and y'all know how my mind think. Because I'm not the one who finna sit here and just praise this doggone show just because it's on. I told y'all, once I realized what the hell was going on last episode, I'm finna nitpick the fuck out of this. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Y'all let me know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. We can talk about it in the comment section. But I'm only wrong 1.2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7% of the time. That's it, not very long. So Daisy, like I said, her main job was to man the men's toilet. And some old bugger come up to her, flirting, racing his old decrepit ass fingers up her arm, telling her, if you a good girl, you can go from white to green. Well, like I told y'all before, the Pearls are supposed to be junior aunts. And they're already supposed to be at reproductive age. But they're supposed to follow the doctrine of the aunts, which is not to reproduce. The senior aunts are supposed to have hysterectomies so they can't produce. They didn't do that to the young girls in case they can't have a baby. But they're at reproductive age. Okay. So anyway, Daisy was like, back off, bucko. Okay. He slapped the tray out of her hand and called her a heretic bitch. And who comes to the rescue? Garth. This motherfucker be everywhere. Garth. I'll take care of it. Okay. He tells her after the commander walks away, have you lost your damn mind? Do you want to lose your tongue? She like, my bad. East side of Toronto. Regent Park, baby. Regent Park up in the building. I forgot where the fuck I was. Is Regent Park still one of the kind of like more risque areas in Toronto? Y'all let me know. I ain't been to Toronto in about 10 years now. So y'all let me know if Regent Park is still like, a little bit on the unsafe side. But anywho, why are you there? She told him that she wasn't aware that she would have to deal with perverts. Why were you not told this? If you don't know what Gilead truly stands for, how all women and girls are subservient sex slaves, bred or controlled for reproduction, something is wrong. Why are you there? Why is there a resistance against these people that you have decided to join if you don't know anything about them? You don't even know why you're fighting. How in the fuck are you infiltrating something and you don't know what their perversion is? That's their main fucking perversion. All I keep thinking is they sent this fucking child unaware into the damn firing pit. Unprotected. Because how many times she got to keep telling Garth monkey ass that she want to get the fuck out of there. And he basically telling her, you are a fucking prisoner too. Until you could prove your worth. What the fuck does that mean? Why the fuck would Mayday send a goddamn child into the fold without knowing she can be trusted? This is why I can seriously say Mayday ain't shit. Y'all got me mad for Daisy, and I don't even like her little young butt. Back at the ball, the higher ups, the yellow stripes, they ready to enter the playground with the children. They up in the balcony first, drooling over this new batch this year. Why in the hell these commanders ain't already married? Especially since they just said they was at the ball last year. Why they not already ready? They ain't like how Commander Joey was, Commander Lawrence. He was trying to avoid being with the wife, being with the handmaid altogether. But these men up here, these slime balls, they are ripe for the picking. They are there. They are elated with it. Becka and Agnes, they still have intention and Becka is like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Shu tell Hulda, they just have a little competition between one another, trying to figure out who's going to get the best man. Shu tell Hulda, no wonder God ain't blessed you with the cycle. You a clown. You a little bit thick in the brain, you know what I'm saying? But empty-headed at the same damn time. And Hulda say, oh really? You think that's why he ain't blessed you too? Baby, Shu face was cracked. I don't even think Hulda realized that she was swinging with a wrecking ball because she is kind of dense in the head. But Shu felt that shit. She felt that shit. Now, the old heads, they down on the playground with the children, and Mackenzie tells Garth to grab the guy, I forgot his name already, that was dancing with Agnes. Dang, what was his name? I don't remember. He gonna be important again a little bit later, I know. Anyway, he needed in the war room. Something popping off, right? So instead of getting a commander to dance with her, he calls Garth in and tells Garth to do it. Well, Garth was there telling him that he would need it. So Garth was standing right there. But he tells Garth to dance with Candace. You got all these commanders who are looking for wives just standing around the room. And you don't tell one of them come fill in or one of them just to slide in. Garth? Hell, Garth left her in the middle of the damn floor too. He got called away. And now she's standing there looking stupid. Anyway, why Garth know the dance? Agnes been practicing this routine for months. Why Garth know the dance? He ain't been around when she been practicing. He know the dance routine and everything. And she out there melting under his touch, right? They boldly having conversations right next to other commanders. Garth worried about the other guards being jealous, but not worried about the commander standing right there next to him, hearing him socialize with this young woman. In the meantime, Becka, she over in the corner getting sauced up by a commander. The dance wasn't even over, and he done pulled her off the doggone floor to hit his flask up. She stood by and she was looking on at Agnes and Garth, getting jealous and jealous and jealous, wishing it was her instead of him. She made herself so sick of watching their ass. Plus the addition of the hen dog too. Might have been a little bit of that, like been a little more hen dog than it was her being jealous that she got sick. Then again, it might have been Tennessee whiskey he had in that flask. I don't know too many other older white men that drink Hennessy. That's usually like a black man's drink. Yeah, I think it might have been Tennessee whiskey in there. Shoot. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. My voice ain't smooth. It's nothing right now. You're as warm. Gotta hit my mic. As a glass of brandy. Honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. Ooh, child. I was reaching for that note. It was out of reach. Anyway. Let's open up the vault this week. Hey, since we already got sauced up, pulled out a little liquor earlier in the season, and Helen, our martyr, had twins, how about I give y'all what she received? Since this is episode 5, and it's about weddings, I'm going to give y'all a 5-carat blue diamond. Got to match the blue of the wife's dress. Blue diamond ring straight from the emoji vault. All y'all got to do is name the original singer or 2 of the most popular singers who covered the song Tennessee Whiskey. Drop that in the comment section and you get that nice diamond ring from the emoji vault, right? If you name all 3, you know what you get? You get an extra gemstone. You can set that mug in whatever piece of jewelry that you choose. You can chop it up and make it like my earrings. I got like rings of diamonds here. You know what I'm saying? It ain't 5 carats, but it's still something. I'm saying, because we balling over her. We balling over her in the emoji vault. It's always something to give. Well, Aunt Lydia, she noticed that the commanders were throwing back their liquor a little bit hard. And she let Commander Judd know, my girls better not be drinking. And he like, Aunt Lydia, you tripping. These ain't your handmaids over here. We got godly women. They know what they doing, right? And Aunt Lydia tell him, look here, I'm in charge of the girls. I'm in charge of the girls. Okay? And also, I'm in charge of who these commanders get married to. Stupid. But anyway, they better act like they know. Do not get my girls drunk. That's all I'm saying. Okay? I do not need my girls out here white boy wasted. That's what I'm saying. He said, fine. I'm going to let them know. I'm going to tell them about themselves, right? But when she walk off, he tell Aunt Vidala, look her, it sure would be nice if we got some younger blood up in here, okay? We need somebody younger running things, don't you think? And she looked at him like, oh, you talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you, girl, okay? Okay? Those were my words, not his. I summarized what he said, but that's what he meant, right? So, Becka, she's so lit, she is stumbling down this hallway. Somehow, Daisy don't hear her shoes clunking all over these hardwood floors. But Shu sees her, and she runs out and tells the other girls to distract the aunts. So she rushes Becka down there to Daisy and insists that Daisy help her. Daisy's like, what the heck wrong with her? She's sick, girl. That's all you need to know. She's sick, right? Just help her. Daisy's like, wait a minute. She is fucked up. Okay? I got this. I done did this before. Why Daisy know she know all the Harlingtons. Okay, so anyway, Daisy had her in the bathroom drinking water. What she should have had was her head over the toilet, letting her pray to the porcelain god. That's what she should have did. Okay. But, instead she became her therapist. That's what she became. She allowed Becka to confess that she didn't want to be married and that she was in love with Agnes. Becka is like, I just want God to do the damn thing. Do me a solid. I need him to broom away the earth and extinguish all the stars. Okay. I must admit they have had a lot of poetic lines this particular episode. they've had a lot of poetic lines throughout the whole season. Like you got like a very poetic writer is in the writing room this particular time. And if y'all missed it, last episode, the Ken Dom, he wrote a poem in the comment sections. I think I pinned it. Go check out his poem. It's nice. It's really nice. No, it was in the third episode. The third episode. Okay, anyway. Agnes tell her, not Agnes, Becka tell Daisy, look, I just want to run away. And Daisy responds just the same way that June would have. Daisy tells her, don't think about that, girl. Don't think about running away. Think about all the friends that you have made here. Okay? And back when I was in Toronto, there's good men there. Okay? All men ain't bad. She ain't in Toronto, though. And so Becca want to know, well, what the fuck you leave for? So, no, Daisy's just going to say, it's God's will. That's pretty much what she said here. You know what I'm saying? Again, I asked Daisy, what you here for? If you not here to help these girls escape this reality, why are you here? Why did Mayday put this child in danger without a mission? Garth couldn't even tell her specifics on what he wanted her to look for in regards to Mackenzie. He told her that the candy paid off. How? The candy paid off? Apparently, they think that Mackenzie is having secret meetings with the Japanese for weapons. Okay? All from a candy jar, a chocolate bar. They learned all this information. And these weapons are supposed to be coming from a country that supposedly has a ban on Gilead. What's she going to bring back as proof to you? Because you ain't even telling her what she's supposed to be looking for. You want her to get sake next time? Maybe that's what's in that flask. Maybe it was sake in that flask, and that's why Becca's so turned up. Anyway, after the bathroom confessions, Becca left the bathroom, but people was looking for her. Okay. Ho Sheba come in, and she say, have y'all seen her? Old girl was trash. She done messed up her chances of getting a good husband, right? And she was like, hey, bitch, watch your mouth. Okay. Don't be around here spreading rumors about my friend. And Ho was like, it ain't a rumor if it's true. Okay. Sue hauled off and smacked last week's tea out of that girl's mouth. Meanwhile, Agnes is still standing in the same fucking spot on the dance floor Garth left her in. Now, he was supposed to be handling business, but now he over in the corner laughing it up with the commanders. When they get so buddy-buddy. Anyway, Agnes always gets stuck on stupid in his presence. He ain't even all that, sis. I mean, shit. She acting like he the last man standing. Aunt Gabbana come in and get Agnes and tell us her turn. She got to go in there and do a Zoom interview with the rest of the commanders. They don't have fucking internet in goddamn Gilead, but okay. Fuck they got Zoom for. But she's to be suited and booted for somebody that's of her caliber. You know what I'm saying? Because of the rank of her daddy, she's a high-ranking daughter. So she got to get matched with a man that's a high-ranking officer, which is usually the old heads, right? She gets a little tongue-tied and she falters, but Judd is there to save the day. I'm surprised Garth ass didn't bust in the damn room. No, Commander Judd calm her down, lets her know that she can set up a play date with Jenny, or Penny, right? I don't know why I'm calling the girl Jenny. When all this is over, said and done, and she becomes a wife, she can have a play date with her. And why they changed this part too? I don't get why they changed this. Like, the book was written specifically because they wanted to do a fucking spinoff, and they changed the whole fucking book. Commander Judd, and I can say that because it's up until this point, was supposed to be the man that Agnes was supposed to wed. He wasn't wed to Penny at all. Now they got him married off to a nobody. They changed his character altogether. They made so many unnecessary changes. Anyway, Agnes sees Becca when she comes back, and she's sitting over in the corner. And Agnes decides to go and comfort her. She's been acting like a bitch to her all day, pretty standoffish. But she decides to go comfort her because, my homegirl had a rough day. And Becca says again, I should just run away, you know what I'm saying? Agnes like, I got you, girl. We could run away together. Me and my sister never part. They pinky promise. Okay? Aunt Lydia, she's looking on into the room with disgust on her face. Vidalia, like, everything was on the up and up, right? You know what I'm saying? You happy what happened tonight? And Aunt Lydia's like, I beg your finest pardon. This is all your fault. Everything wasn't good. And Vidalia was like, what you mean it's my fault? How am I supposed to be responsible for that? So now she's thinking in her head, okay, Judd is right. Because this chick got to be getting senile. How is this my fault? Okay, so Shu comes over to Agnes and Hannah doing a temperature check on the situation. So far, nothing. Nothing has been said to Becca at all about her sinful ways. And I apologize if this video is long. I didn't realize what time it was. Miriam then comes over and try to find out when they go into the chapel. Shu seems to know everything, like I said. The girls have been at this school all this fucking time. And Shu is the only one with information. She's the only one to know the program. And she ain't even one of the ones that's getting married. Then up comes Ho Sheba. I'm surprised she was able to step anywhere near Shu. But she turned her focus on Miriam. Miriam's the one that tripped last time. Or got tripped last time. And she tells her, don't mess with my man. Because I'm going to be the one that bring it to you. Don't mess with my man. Find your own. Don't mess with my man. Because I'm going to be the one that bring it to you. Here's a little advice for you. Find your own man. Okay. That was still off key too. But anywho, if you're able to tell me who sings that song, I'm going to give you something a little extra. We already giving out the ring, the diamonds that Helen got. I'm going to give you the Mercedes too. We got Mercedes backed up into the vault. It's going to be bright red. You only going to see the front of it. You know what I'm saying? Can't ride too many people in it. But I'm going to give you the rings and or the Mercedes. You can have all three if you know all the answers. It don't matter if somebody already posted the answer. You can repeat that shit and you can get one too. Vidalia finally comes in and speak on drunkenness because she got chewed out by Aunt Lydia. And after she rings her disappointment out, the bells ring out. Not tonight, not tonight of all nights. Why is the bell ringing? Who the hell be ringing the bell? Because everybody is supposed to be there, all the girls. It gotta be a prank. When she said it gotta be a prank, I got mad again. Because what the fuck would you know about a prank? It shouldn't even be your vocabulary, child. Anyway, it was Hulda. Okay, I guess God decided to bless her because she too is a woman. She's a woman, hear her roar. Okay, and you know Shu was big mad. Them crocodile tears welled up in her eyes and they was refusing to fall. They was hanging on for dear life, right? And especially, not only does Shu want it better or worse or more than all the girls there, Shu has been the one that's been walking around there like a chicken with her head cut off, helping everybody out of their mess, making sure everybody is holding their shit together. Shu has been the supporting actress to everybody tonight. And Hulda, the one without a brain, is the one who get blessed with her cycle. You know, Shu sucked it up and came up and congratulated her. After Hulda tell her little girl the tea, it worked and it was piping hot. On the way home, Commander Mackenzie, he got tea too. He congratulated Garth. In a few weeks, he's going to be commander. Agnes gets the bright idea. He could be mine. If he's a commander, that means he's eligible. Well, technically, he shouldn't be getting a wife this year. He should be waiting this next season because selection night is over. He hasn't been part of this process. That's all they have to do now is their selections. Garth is nowhere in the status of rank to even be with you in the first doggone place. He gonna be fresh out the womb, brand spanking new commander. But Agnes, yeah, he gonna be mine. It's like they trying to write us a love story. We just watched a Bridgerton love story. That's what we just watched, y'all. All she could think about was his eyes, his touch, the heat from his body. All hope is not lost. she can have love. That's the end of the episode, y'all. This is the end of this long ass review and recap. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for being here. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Peace.